What exactly happens in northern Maine? Now, you wonder why Stephen King wrote all these horror stories based in Maine, especially northern Maine, because it is this really creepy, eerie place that is desolate and isolated. You have an area where there have been several truckers, several motorists who have disappeared, who have vanished without a trace. Now, there was a man named Gil. Gil said him and his buddy, they went out to a remote area in northern Maine to a fishing cabin. And the plan was to go fishing for 3 days. So the first night they're there, they go to bed early. In the middle of the night, Gil awakes to this clicking sound. And he couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So he gets up and he goes into the front room and he notices on the porch there's a light. And that clicking sound is that light going off and on. So he's like, what in the world? Like, what's going on with this light? So he opens the front door. And when he looks outside, he sees his buddy. He's about 15 feet away from the cabin. He's turned around. He's kind of hunched over tightly. And he's moving back and forth. And then all of a sudden, he hears him say, Jacob, Jacob. He keeps saying, Jacob. And he's like, who's Jacob? Like, why? What is he saying? And he's like, hey, man, you all right? Like, what's going on? All of a sudden, his friend takes off running into the woods. So he follows after him. And as he's walking through the woods, yelling for his friend, he comes out to this clearing near the lake. And he said the lake was frozen at this time. And out on the middle of the lake, he sees a very large moose. But this moose was walking backwards. He said that's when he got freaked out. He booked it back to the cabin and he ran inside, slammed the door. He said as he came inside the cabin, he hears some noise coming from his friend's room. And he said out came his friend. And he's like, hey man, what were you doing outside? Like, why'd you run into the woods? And his friend's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I was asleep. So he tells his friend what had happened to him. And he tells him about this moose walking backwards. And his friend all of a sudden says to him, look, we need to leave now. We need to get in the Jeep and get out of here. And he's like, why? Well, like, what's wrong? And he goes, I just had a nightmare about a moose walking backwards. So they both hopped in the Jeep and they got out of there. Now, in this same general area, there was this trucker who was driving down this remote highway that went through the forest. And it started to get dark, and he noticed this fog starting to appear. And as he continued to drive, the fog got thicker and thicker. Eventually, it got to the point where he could not see in front of him. So he was going about 5 miles an hour. All of a sudden, his truck, the engine gives out. And he finds himself stalled in the middle of the highway. So he's like, oh no, this isn't good. Like, I can't move the truck. Like, what's going on? So he hops out of the truck and he pops the hood and he starts, looking around. So that's when all of a sudden he heard a child's laughter. So he looked behind him, there was nothing there. And then once again, he hears a child's laughter. And then he starts seeing these little shadows moving around in the fog. And that freaked him out. So he runs, he jumps in the truck, and he gets into the cab, and he just starts hiding. Well, he's in there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and he could start to hear these things, or whatever they were, start banging on the door. And this went on for another 10 or 15 minutes. And finally, the driver's side door opens up. And all of a sudden, he sees a trooper. And the trooper's like, hey, man, are you okay? Like, what are you doing in the back of your truck? Like, why are you parked in the middle of the highway? And he goes, well, this fog, like I couldn't see, and my truck broke down, like, and like I seen some stuff, so I hid in the cab. And he said the trooper was kind of shocked, like, what are you talking about? And when he went to the front of the truck, he could see that it was a sunny day, there was no fog, and he had no idea how he experienced that.